3 new commanders just got announced in the official Rise of Kingdoms Instagram, and they even have a few descriptions of the skills and the talent trees listed. And I'm a little bit anxious for some of this, and I'll talk about why. Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and we've got new ranged and leadership commanders coming into the game. This is official. This is actually happening, and it's probably at least, I want to say, in the realm of like a month away before they're actually in-game, because the developers have gotten into this cycle of announcing things, I think, well before they actually arrive into the game. So we should still have 1 or 2 more Mightiest Governor cycles before they're here. But let's get a look at who has been revealed and what they do. First up, Jirnnodhara, and I'm probably butchering the pronunciation. It's late at night. I'm trying to bang out this vid before I get to bed. But this is an engineering versatility, and is that the defense tree that they're using? So Jirnnodhara, they describe down here, if we look at the details, as ranged smite damage and healing. Okay, and then up next, they've got the Father of Terico, that is also engineering versatility. I don't know why they're putting versatility on these, but okay. And then attack. And if we look at what they're described as, it's ranged smite damage and disarm. Ooh, disarm is an effect that we have seen before, and I'll show you exactly what that is in game in just a few minutes. And the final legendary, that I assume legendary, that's coming into the game is the Shorestone shield. And this dude is leadership garrison skill. Oh, man. And if I scroll down here, the Shorestone shield is AoE damage, okay, and disarm. These are powerful effects. Now, there's so much to unpack here. First of all, drop a comment if you're actually using ranged commanders, because I know I'm not, and I can count on one hand the number of people I've encountered that actually use ranged commanders. And I'm sure they could be very good. So this is like a good news, bad news thing. The good news is that if you want to go for ranged commanders, hey, I mean, you could do it. You could totally do it. And like, they're supporting more of them. Presumably that will become stronger and stronger over time until it's ultimately perhaps undeniable. Do these new legends get paired together, or do you use Margaret and Bobber with them? We don't know until we see their full kit, but it is ranged smite damage. So I mean, like, I'm a little confused because like you don't want the arch formation for that. You have to use the range formation in order to do this. So I'm going to have to get a closer look at armaments and inscriptions that ultimately go and support this. But the thing that's a little bit weird about armaments and inscriptions for range formation is that like you pull for those armaments and you're basically hoping for a 1 in 4, that you ultimately are getting siege stats, and then you work from there, which like, that's pretty rough compared to Arch or compared to Wedge, where 3 out of 4 outcomes you're pretty happy, especially for Wedge. Infantry, cavalry, or archers, and you're happy. So 3/4 chance that when you're getting troop stats, you could care about them on Arch and Wedge, whereas range formation, I think that's a big part of the reason that people hesitate to go into it, is that the armaments are just very costly to go and do because the number of things you get that are viable is very low. The other reason that people don't do it is that then you have to go and make a brand new set of equipment, and that is the ranged equipment. Now, on the topic of ranged equipment and new equipment, your boy Chisgule over here is a little bit wrecked. And when I say a little bit wrecked, I mean like, I don't know, $10,000 worth of materials and equipment patterns wrecked, because if this guy isn't good with Trajan in the open field, or if he isn't like a truly viable garrison plus fielder, then I got to look at my Trajan and go, dude, what the heck? Back in the day, when it was meta to have Trajan, and it was not doubtable whether or not it was meta, it was the meta, the best thing you could do was make the infantry gear. and you crit that for leadership. And that was the best you could do. Now, I know they've subsequently made leadership gear, but you can't change your infantry gear over to leadership gear. So the customers who went and invested in these things, are we just stuck without an option? We trusted the game design and got a dead end? Is that what happened? We don't know until we see the kit and see if it works with Trajan. If it's actually legit with Trajan, then hey, we're in business, baby. I'll use what I have and I'll keep going, and I hope that I don't get wrecked. But if I am wrecked, I may end up going the direction of a engineering march. I don't know. Can you swarm a garrison with one of these? How does that work? Can you even target a building if you're in turret form? If I can't target a building, is the march even worth working on as a whale? I don't know. These are questions I don't have the answers to, okay? And as I mentioned, AoE and Disarm. Well, we know what area of effect damage is, but let's just do a quick revisit on what a Disarm effect is. Assuming that the language is in fact very precise, let's get a look at El Cid, who does a Disarm. For the next 1 second, the target cannot launch basic attacks or use their active skills. I believe this is the Disarm that they're referring to, right? Right? Hold up. There's another option here. That option, I don't think this qualifies. This is Herman Prime. Yeah, no. This is a silence. Okay. Yeah, we go back to the El Cid. We click over here. Direct damage factor. I'm 99% sure the old language on El Cid used to say disarm, but now it says for the next 1 second, the target cannot launch basic attacks or use active skills. So that's actually a little confusing to me because I could swear to you it used to say disarm. All right, well, I found an old video and it doesn't say disarm. It says disables the target's normal attacks and active skills. So I could have swore it said disarm, but it doesn't. I assume this is what disarm is, but if you have thoughts, definitely let me know down below in the comments. And if you're wondering what that leadership gear is that Chisgule keeps talking about, bro, I got a set here. All right, it's my Trajan Canyon gear. Oh boy. If I have to dismantle all this gear, I also have a shield that I don't think I've crit yet. I don't think I crit the weapon yet, but like, this is a lot of patterns that it took to do this and a lot of materials. And in this game, like, you make a mistake with your legendaries and you're wrecked. Congratulations, you're wrecked. So I'm really hopeful that the new guy is good in the field with Trajan. Please be good with Trajan, please. Oh man. Otherwise, I actually don't know what I'm going to do, but you've heard me complain about this a lot. So I'm going to stop talking about that for now. Let's go speculate on who these new legendaries actually were in the real world. And like 2 of them, it's very easy to figure out. And the third, actually, I have no clue and I need your help. The first dude here is Gahamada, also known as Jirnnodhara. Okay, so that's the first one we were looking at. Powerful military leader, equivalent of a modern prime minister of the Japanese Empire in the 14th century, credited in old Japanese manuscripts, poems, and inscriptions with bringing the empire to its peak of glory. All right, so very, very cool. That is the first ranged leader. But the second, actually go up here, is presumably uncoverable in this article. So Terico was a part of the name they showed on the screen, and that is a military unit of the Spanish army during the reign of the Catholic monarchs and the Spanish Habsburgs in the early modern period. They were the elite military units of the Spanish monarchy and the essential pieces of the powerful land forces of the Spanish Empire, sometimes fighting with the Navy. The Spanish tercios were one of the finest professional infantries in the world. Bro, why am I not getting infantry here? I know we just got infantry, but whatever. Due to their effectiveness of their battlefield formations and were a crucial step in the formation of modern European armies, made up of professional volunteers instead of levies raised for a campaign or hired mercenaries typically used by other European countries of the time. So this is the part where we can figure out kind of who it is. The internal administrative organization of the Tercios and their battlefield formations and tactics grew out of the innovations of this dude, Gonzalo Fernandez de Cordoba, during the conquest of Granada and the Italian Wars. And what's interesting is they were among the first to effectively mix pikes and firearms. So like, okay, yeah, we'll put them in Rise of Kingdoms, give them catapults, call them a ranged unit, and boom, there we are. Engineering, baby. So that is the second one. And the third one, I honestly have no clue. Let me just pull them up real quick. I don't know who the Shorestone shield is. And when I look it up, you get characters from other video games. So unless we've got like a big collaboration coming in, which we used to get, which I would not be opposed to, I don't know who this is. So definitely let me know with your thoughts in the comments. Here you can see you can leave your guesses in the comments with your governor ID as well by February 8th. So not a lot of time to go and make your submission here, and you can win some extra stuff. And the people in the comments had kind of no clue who they were either here. All right. So when we get a look here, are you kidding me? Engineer again, leadership, not again. Yeah. Engineering and leadership, it do be like that. And like the issue with leadership is that for a lot of people, they're not going to use it in the open field, or they don't have any equipment for it. And so it's just not at all relevant to them. But like, good news, everyone. Like, this could be a commander cycle where you just sit back and you're like, all right, I don't work on these commanders. I work on the rest of my field. And that's actually not a terrible outcome, right? Like, that's actually not a terrible outcome if you can go max some other commanders and focus on that instead, all right? No. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the developers have to change to get people to be excited about ranged. Like, do they make the commanders stronger? Do they make the armaments easier to get? Do they make the equipment more available? I don't know what the answer is. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, throw a like on here. Consider subscribing for the latest and greatest Rise of Kingdoms news as soon as it lands. I'm going to be entering KVK tomorrow on my restart. By the time you're watching this, I'll be entering today on my restart. So be on the lookout for a stream around reset. Should be a good time. Also, I've got some Call of Dragons events going on at reset that like I have to be there for. So we'll do that too. It should be a good time. Throw a like on here. Subscribe. Card in the end screen for, I don't know, information about leadership commanders and engineering commanders. All right. Until next time, you have fun smashing the kingdom.